With Christ, I am a hero. Without Him, I am zero. Have you heard about Sadhu Sundar Singh? He is said to be the apostle in India. He was very much committed to Christ. He had that much personal relationship with Christ. The above statement was once said by him. Today, our Bible portion for meditation is taken from the Gospel according to St. Luke, chapter 24, verses 15, 17, 29 and 30. Verse 15. As they talked and discussed these things with each other, Jesus himself came up and walked along with them. Verse 17. He asked them, "What are you discussing together as you walk along?" They stood still, their faces downcast. Verse 29. But they urged him strongly, "Stay with us, for it is nearly evening. The day is almost over." So he went in to stay with them. Verse 30. When he was at the table with them, he took bread, gave thanks, broke it, and began to give it to them. Today's topic for meditation is Be always with Christ. Here, in this context, we can see the journey to Emmaus is the circumstance which held to the conversation between the resurrected Christ and his two followers. This journey can be assumed as these followers are moving back to their hometown, which might be. It shows that their hope is lost over Christ. They are in anxiety. What could happen now? They are in a frightening stage. But here we can see that Christ walks, talks, and dines along with them, even though they are not able to recognize Him. In our life also, Christ's presence should be there. I would like to share 3 areas where Christ's presence should be held up always. First one, occasion of a journey. Here, the 2 followers were unaware about with whom they were traveling, but they had a good knowledge of what had happened and what all was done by Christ. They were traveling from Jerusalem to Emmaus. Even though it is a hopeless situation for them, Christ walks along with them. Our life itself is also a journey. We are all pilgrims. Each and every life has a goal to be achieved. And to achieve the targeted goal, Christ must be with us throughout. As Jesus said, "I am the way, truth, and life." So, Christ is a way, and at the same time, He is a guide. A path that is taken without the presence of Christ should not be accepted at all. Whoever follows the right path that is shown by Christ is to be called as God's people. Second one, level of our conversation. According to the followers, it was a common incident that had taken place in their town. So, their conversation style was in common level. But when Christ joined them, He connected their conversation with biblical truths. There was a change in the level of conversation that took place. Christ always tries to increase the level of a conversation. Nowadays, we all use social media platforms. There, we could see truths and lies. But when we bind with Christ, we can see that our talks are directed accordingly as God wishes. It means that our conversation must be to encourage others' thoughts and deeds, or helping them to think in a higher level. Our conversations with friends, family, colleagues, and to the society should be good enough that it should not hurt them one or the other way. So, Resurrected Christ evaluates a conversation always. We usually say, God, the silent listener to every conversation. Third one, importance of dining space. An invitation is given to Jesus. Here we could see that Christ acted as moving forward, but he was having an interest to have a fellowship with the followers. Christ took the food which was brought by the followers and blessed it and gave it to them. At that point of time, their eyes were opened. Usually a prayer is said after food is served on a table. Lord, thank you for the food and fellowship. Help us to have this and glorify your name. Footsteps that could be blessed by Christ should be only seen on a dining table. A question: is it possible to have an alcohol bottle on a table and say the above prayer or thank Him for giving this? The answer is no. We should also avoid the habit of gluttony. Simultaneously, we should consider a dining table as a holy sacrament. In just one sentence, we can say that footsteps which are blessed and given by Christ can only be eaten. It is said that Christ is the unseen guest at every meal, so a dining space should be acceptable for Christ. As I conclude, in life, keep in touch with God always, as He always wants to be with us during our journey, our conversation, and in our dining space. Let's the Almighty Lord help us to get His presence in all areas of our life. Amen.